Hello guys and welcome to another one. This one is going to be me explaining my Ultima raiding build that I was using to apparently destroy Arisen Morrigan in my drama video. I don't think I was destroying a Mori in that video, but people have been asking, what build were you using? Oh my god, you made it look so effortless. I'm just like, I wasn't even doing that much. Like, I almost wanted to just not use that video and just use the audio. That was actually bad. I killed like 2 AMRs in that video. But people liked the damage and apparently I was surviving well, so this is how I do it. I will try to explain this build as intricately, as in detail. I guess that's what intricately means. I'm going to try to do it as quickly and as efficiently as possible, as well as trying to be as efficient as possible, is what I'm trying to say. So let us dive in. The first item on the list, the Face Chimera helmet. And I love this item for 2 reasons. It gives me a little, just a little bit of critical, which I like. And the kicker, it gives me 7% action rate. And I'll tell you guys what the action rate is useful for just as soon as I show you where I get this item from. So this item comes from the Face Chimera, and this is an all year round raid. So all of its armor pieces are usable by all classes, so usable by extension by Heretic. And each piece gives 7%. But I use my other slots for other things, so I don't need the 7% from my other slots. I need it here. So that is the reason for that. I also take another 7% action rate here from my Arisen Feral Archistaff. Where is it? It should be up here. Arisen Feral Archistaff, here we go. So that one I really love for the 7% action rate, and it comes from the Arisen Kerberos, which will be available next month, in the month of February. So it gives a little bit of ward too, which I appreciate. But my build isn't really ward dependent, but I have like 20%, I have like 25,000 ward, and it comes in so clutch even against weaker raids when I'm using Snotra, but especially versus Arisen Mori when she kinda does, when DC drops and she does damage. Okay, so I'll explain DC. So DC is Aethric channel. It comes from my follower here. I'm gonna throw in Okay, so I can do it like this and show you guys just how much action rate I get. And I also use this item, which I just used one by accident, small bestial potion, for another 5%. So with all of them, the buff chance is 22%, and this is the spell that I'm talking about. So I cross my fingers, twiddle my thumbs, and make a wish on a shooting star that my pet does DC. And DC helps me in 2 ways. One, it doubles my damage. So if I was going to do 700,000 with DC up, I will do 1.4 mil. So that is really good because, stating the obvious, it's doubling my damage. But it also helps my accuracy because it doubles the stats that I have. So you know how you have a little bit of defense from the gear, and you have a little bit of resistance, you have a little bit of dexterity from your class itself, even if you have no dexterity itself in your build. DC doubles all those stats, so you hit just a little bit more accurately, and then it goes hand in hand with your Iconoclast passive, which I believe is one of the most important Heretic passives. As you drain your mana, you gain stats. So you gain attack, you gain magic, which we want, you gain resistance, and you gain physical defense as well as dexterity. So DC helps you to boost all of those things. So it is overall, it is a wholesome stat buff. So my chest slot is the Bulwark, and I really love this for the boost in Dragon Magic. And that gives a 20% boost. And the Bulwark comes from a normal monster that is also all year round. It is called the Nidhogg, and it is found in either normal dungeons at tier 9 plus normal mode, not boss mode, or it is found in Dragon Roosts. And this is the only item that it drops. Well, the only gear it drops, not item, because it also drops the material, which is an item. In my boot slot, I have the Skyfallen shoes, which comes from the Arisen Cattle. And I definitely got to show you guys this one because I don't know how to pronounce the name. And this one is a event monster again. As you can see, I haven't killed many, but I got really lucky. And I love this item for the magic stat that it provides. So in my Amory speedruns, I also love it because it increases the spell cost of all spells by 50%. So where my Ultima would cost 270, it now costs 450. So if I use a Smelly Mushroom for that super buff, I get the Toxic, which can restrict my movement. I don't want that, so I have to use a Panacea. When I use a Panacea, it resets my entire Iconoclast passive, which is not good. So these boots help me to get back in good range in a timely manner. So yeah, if I missed anything or if you have any questions about any of these pieces, you can ask in the comment sections below. So don't forget that, or in my Discord server. So I've gone through here, 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 here. This one is the 40% crit amity, which I think is the best amity to use. Guys, I need a better 40% crit amity. Guys, check this shit out. My Patreon has the best amity in the fucking world. This is the best amity I have ever seen. Where is it? Supporter questions. Y'all, this guy has an amity that does 40% crit, which would have been enough. 7% fire damage, which Ultima, I'll explain Ultima now. Ultima is damage from all 8 elements. So every damage boost boosts Ultima's damage. This greedy motherfucker could not have satisfied. He went further to get an additional 20% damage in Dragon. So that's another 20% damage. He has a free Bulwark here, man. Why is he so greedy? Why don't I have this amity? Guys, I haven't felt jealousy in a while. Like, bro, I'm so jealous of this amity. It's so good. But I have my trash amity there, so yeah, that's the trash I use. Sad, but that's how we deal with it. The staff of the Chimera, I think I've spoken about this staff a ton of times. Staff of the Chimera comes from the Face Chimera that I just showed you guys. I don't think I need to show you guys again. And the usefulness of this staff is the damage 1, which gives 50% damage increase to any type of spell or any type of damage that you're doing overall. It doesn't always proc, so for prolonged fights, it is awesome because you're almost sure to proc it in a longer fight. Even sometimes I'm fighting Amory and it doesn't proc, but you guys fighting Amory, it most likely will proc. So that is why I use that. And then finally we have the Lugos Gauntlets, which comes from a Kingdom only limited time event. And that is the Grand Knight Lugos, I think his name is. And it is a tier 7 item. Lugos Gauntlet right here. And it gives me the temporary magic up 3, which gives a 100% damage increase. So where I was getting the 1.4 mil damage by having up DC, I will now get 2.8 mil damage if both are up. So the damage just keeps increasing. So finally, we have the adornments and why I need the action rate in items instead of adornments. Usually I would want to use the blackened eyes of Kerberos for action rate, but that can't be the case because these beautiful adornments, guys, I'm going to show them to you. They come from the normal monsters, but limited time monsters. Shades of Achilles, and they are called the Soul of Achilles. And I'm going to go ahead and show them to you. And the quality doesn't matter for us because it gives an attack stat and we're looking for a mage stat. But what does matter to us is the increase in light and dark damage. And remember I said earlier that we gain from all 8 elements when using the spell Ultima or Ultima 2. So that is where these come in useful. And each, it gives 2% light damage and it gives 2% dark damage, which means that is 4% damage each. So I fill my slots to the brim with them, and this is me trying to be as efficient as possible with this whole build. Now I've tried some other builds, like for shorter fights I will use something like the Kalandanda, the Arisen Kalandanda, which has 10 adornment slots, and that is if I think I'm going to kill it so fast that the the damage 1 buff, some people call it Berserk 1, but I think Berserk 1 comes from Berserk Mushroom, and Berserk 1 gives you 25%. I'm not sure, but it only has 1 arrow for that one, so that's why I call it Berserk 1. So just to go over it as quickly as possible, why I like them, and I'll show you the things that you don't necessarily have to have in good quality, but versus Arisen Morrigan, you want to have them in the best quality because you want to just be as strong as possible versus that beast until she's a little child to you, then you can have it in any quality. So I love the defensive stat because she does a lot of defensive stuff, which is why you don't use Gate of Snotra on her. And then you have the defense stat on this too. The resistance stat is negligible because your heretic passive will see you be either resistant or immune to some of her magic damage, but it's harder to be resistant or immune to her physical damage unless you get really lucky, because you can technically be immune to her beast strikes because any element you can just get that immunity other than physical. I don't think I've ever seen physical be immune, but someone can correct me if they have. So yeah, so action rate and a little bit of ward. This has a little bit of crit too, and the defense, the magic damage, and even the dragon magic damage, and even the dragon magic resistance, which I'm honestly not sure if it helps heretics, because it kind of clashes in a way with our passive, or maybe it stacks with it. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that, because I don't think I've seen every single time that I take dragon damage that it says resistant. So that's why I'm saying that. But I could be wrong. If you know something different, you can tell me in the comment section below. This one is good for the magic stat. As I said, if I'm speedrunning a Mori, then I'm happier to use it. But if I'm just killing normal raids, then I can already set my mana low and the additional cost of Ultima doesn't really help my case that much because, as I said, I can set my mana low enough that I don't need any additional mana. So without the boots, I could probably just use like 4 or 5 or 6 strikes and kill the thing. But I love it regardless because the magic stat is just so good. So a high quality one of these is so good. So I love a high quality of everything. I would love a 200%. Granted, it's probably like 100 more magic, but I want 100 more magic. I'm greedy. You can call me greedy, but I want 100 more magic. Lugos Gauntlets, essential, like so essential. Like doing double damage, man. It's just so good. The Amity, 40% crit. Oh my god, so strong, so strong, so strong. Other Amities you could use if you have like elemental damages with other things, like elemental damage with 50% positive status retention. That would be amazing too. So it's all about utilizing what you have. At the moment, this piece of trash is the strongest one I have. As I just showed you guys, there are even better ones than that one that I have. If I had those ones, you guys would have probably shot yourselves by now because I would be the president of the United States if I had that Amity. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. I would have stopped the war in Ukraine if I had the Amity that my patron Makana has. So the struggle is still real out here. But yeah, that is the entire build explained as intricately as I think I can, as quickly as I think I can. If you guys have additional questions, best way to reach me is to join my server. The link is in the description box below. You can also leave a comment. I try to read all the comments. I try to reply to the comments. So you can for sure leave a comment. Leave a like if you were helped by this, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the likes do help me in some way. I'm not really sure how, but the likes do help me. So guys, if my videos do help you, you guys can leave a like. It's literally one click. So don't be shy. Finally, you can subscribe if you enjoy my content in general. And thank you so much to my patrons. You have Deluxe, Nerul Attorney, Orban Ember, Makana, Daishi, Erin, and Burton. I don't think I'm leaving anyone out other than my private patrons who choose not to be named or mentioned or given anything. So I still want to shout them out because I appreciate you guys all, and thank you guys so much for watching as usual, and ta-ta.